Welcome back, team. My name is Eli, and you're watching Journal of Complete Stranger, where emotional masculinity is turning into something completely different from what I had expected. Click on the link in the description below and be sure to share that link with as many people as you know. I would like to touch as many people as possible, and I mean that in the weirdest way possible. Watch the video to the very end because the minute you miss just may have the message you need. Today's video, I need you to follow me around and enjoy my day. All right, team. So it was a pretty interesting and exciting weekend. I had a good time. I mean, it had its down spots. I mean, there were some things that needed to be said, and they needed to be said because one, the person on the receiving end of what I had to say needed to hear it, and two, they were feelings and innermost thoughts that needed to come out. So guys, if for whatever reason there is something weighing at your heart, don't hold it in. Find the best way to say it and just say it. Now you have to decide whether or not the way you need to say it is assertive or aggressive. Pick one. Now I know some of you are having a hard time determining which is which, but the way you don't want to do it is in a passive tone. When you say the stuff that I said this weekend passively, you are going to sound needy and desperate, and that is not what being an emotionally masculine man is. Yes, you need to have emotions. Yes, you need to acknowledge those emotions and be emotional. But speaking emotionally in a passive, needy, and desperate tone, it's not good. Again, part of being an emotionally masculine man requires you to be masculine. Anyway, so that was the not so good part of the weekend. But honestly, man, I had a pretty decent weekend. I did some things that I'd never done, not necessarily because I wanted to do them, but because I've never done it. There are things that I've done in the past that made me happy, but for whatever reason, I stopped, and I learned quite a few things as well. So we're going to go ahead and tackle these in order. Something that I did this weekend that I'd never done, that I didn't necessarily feel the need to do it, but I did it anyway. So, and Mom, stop watching this video right now. And honestly, I don't think my mom even knows I have a YouTube channel. And even if she did, I don't care. And it's not that I don't care about how my mom feels. It's just, I can't seek the approval of everybody around me. I'm just going to say it how it is. So, I went to a gentleman's club for the first time in my life. I got to tell you, it is not very exciting. I mean, you see things that you've already seen in a manner that you've already seen them, only you're paying for it. So it doesn't make any sense. Now, one thing I can say that I did have a few drinks, and the drinks are cheap, and honestly, the food is good. So it's funny because I ordered, and it's a USDA Prime New York strip steak. That's hilarious. It's a strip steak at a strip club. But yeah, the gentleman's club was interesting. Didn't really have a good time. Just, you know, it's entertainment. It's amusement. Which, by the way, think about the word amusement for a while. Like, the root word muse means to think, and then when you put the prefix a in the front of it, it means to not. So, like, you're literally paying money to not think. Like, significant amount of money if you go to an amusement park or on vacation or just any type of amusement. You're paying to not think, and it's a little bit weird, but it is what it is. So that covers something that I did that I've never done but wasn't really feeling it. So something that I used to do frequently that I haven't done in a really long time that makes me happy. For some reason, yesterday afternoon, because I understand on the weekends now, instead of being able to do the stuff that I enjoy, I've had to, organize, clean, and declutter my family home because I am selling my family home, which is a bummer because I've been living in the house for 3, maybe 4 years when my parents moved to the Philippines, which is a really cool story. And we're going to go ahead and ramble. So, I owned a home that was purchased in a previous relationship, and I'm gonna go ahead and give credit where credit is due. I'm gonna call her. See, I don't want to call her the ex-wife because she's more than that. She's a really good friend too, and honestly, she's been part of my support system. But we're gonna call her. Hold on, I'm gonna come up with a good one. Clamato. So Clamato is my first ex. We owned a home together, and we bought the house and everything was cool. But we had to get out of the house when we split up back in 2014, I think it was. And then she moved out. I continued to live in the house and all of that jazz. And then I met my current wife, which again is close to 100% certain going to be my ex-wife. As sad as it makes me to say it, it's unfortunately true. And in this situation, I did fight to the very end. I am a warrior, and I did put in effort. At the end of the day, that's all I can say I can do. But we moved into an apartment. We lived in that apartment for 3 or 4 years, and after a while, my parents decided they wanted to move to the Philippines. They said, we want you to move into our family home and take over the mortgage. So I thought it was an amazing idea. And it turns out I really dislike this house. It was built in the early 2000s. The layout is horrible. The fixtures are the generic fixtures that go into a house when it's built by like a mass production Lego builder. And I mean, it does have some really nice stuff that was added in after the fact. It has nice hardwood floors downstairs, has really nice granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. So like, there's a lot of stuff going for this house. It wasn't for me, and my wife hated the house, and I very strongly disliked the house, and we had already planned on selling the house and getting our own apartment together, waiting for the market to settle, and then buying our own house or building our own house in the future. Obviously, those plans fell to the wayside. It is what it is. But I've spent the last few weekends in all of my spare time cleaning, decluttering, and organizing the house, setting up outside cleanup crews for the stuff that's going on outside, and my lovely mother-in-law, who I'll refer to as mama, because I love her as if she were my own. She helped us out a lot by moving some of the items that were in the house that either sold or could be donated, and anything that was too far gone and damaged, we had to get rid of. But yeah, I haven't been able to do a lot of activities to film for you guys, and I feel really horrible. But 'tis being a grown-up. But something that I used to do pretty frequently, that I haven't done in a really long time, that I got excited about, this past, matter of fact, yesterday afternoon, I got this wild hair up my ass. I was like, I'm gonna learn how to play a song on the piano. I need you guys to know that I've maybe touched this piano 5 or 6 times in the last 3 years since I moved into the house. And I haven't learned a new song on the piano in about 24 years. So I didn't know what song I wanted to learn how to play. So I went online and typed in advanced music, piano music, difficult to learn, because I need to be distracted. And what came up was Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic in F major. And I gotta tell you, that is a very difficult song to learn if you play the piano. And I mean, 2.5 hours in, I got halfway through the song, and then, you know, my fingers and my brain started to hurt, so I put that to the side. Now I'll continue to practice and learn for the next couple of days. I feel like half a song in 2.5 hours after 24 years is pretty good, in my opinion. So if you're judging me right now, you kiss my ass. I did great. Let me see. Yeah, I shot a video yesterday called Selfish Leadership. And although it's a pretty slow-moving video, if you listen to the words, like, it's not... All right, team. So I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that I learned this weekend, and I hope that you guys can learn it too. We're gonna go ahead and learn it together. Learned some things about myself, and learned some things about myself that weren't good. And also, I just watched the first few segments of this video, and I feel like I need to explain a couple of things. So before we go into lessons learned from this weekend, I want to explain something, because even though I don't really need or want anyone's approval or validation, I need those that got triggered by a few things that I said earlier to understand what I mean by masculinity. Because a lot of people see all types of masculinity as toxic. That's not what I'm talking about. There is genuine toxic masculinity. Like, teaching young men that you cannot be emotional. That's toxic. Anti-feminism is toxic. Now, you know what? I'm not going to get into that rant right now, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about carrying yourself with a certain level of confidence and masculinity. okay? Which is going to lead into the stuff that I learned this weekend. Masculinity is speaking in a way that exudes confidence, that make people want to listen to what you have to say. It's saying things and carrying yourself and walking in a manner that women want to be with you and men want to be you. It's leading with the stuff that you know is right, regardless of how it makes people feel. It needs to be right. Now, I'm not telling you to be an asshole. Saying things completely disregarding people's feelings just for the sake of being a dick is not the right thing. No, I'm talking about doing and saying things and making decisions because they're the right things to do, the right things to see, and they're the right decisions regardless as how it's going to make people feel. That's masculinity. Using the stuff you've learned in your life and using your emotion and your feeling and your integrity to decide whether or not what you're doing, saying, and carrying yourself is correct. That is masculinity. So something I learned this weekend. There have always been emotionally masculine men. They've always existed. I didn't know that. And I wanna tell you why I know they exist, and I'm gonna use a term that you're probably already familiar with. Alpha males. Now, get the description of what you believe to be an alpha male out of your head. Just do some research. Read up on it. Being an emotionally masculine man is basically you being an alpha male. Now, I'm not going to call it being an alpha male because I've already led into this channel every video for the last 2 or 3 weeks as calling it emotional masculinity. So here's the thing about being an emotionally masculine male, alpha male, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go ahead and say emotionally masculine man. We'll describe what the nice guy, friend zone, regular brain-driven person versus heart-driven person does when they go to a bar. All right, and I can attest to this one from this weekend. I went to a place called Draftcade, and it's apparently this newer thing that they call barcades, which is essentially an arcade where you pay $10 to get in and get unlimited arcade use. Now I haven't been to an arcade in a while, but it was pretty dope because it was all like 80s and 90s arcades and pinball machines. I'm from the 80s and the 90s, so that was pretty cool. I played the original Mortal Kombat on Arcade Box this past weekend. That's neat. But there's also a bar, and you will be absolutely shocked at how many single women are at one of these barcades or draftcades. Now, I did not go to this place to pick anybody up. That's not what I'm doing. I'm way too scarred right now to do anything like that. I mean, shit, it's been 1 month to the day since I had my heart ripped out. I'm not ready for that shit. So, but there's a lot of single women that go to these places, and I saw the way some of the men were trying to talk to women. Like, there was this one semi-attractive female, and you know what? I don't want to say semi-attractive. I think all women are beautiful in their own way, mostly because on my journey to emotional masculinity, I've changed my perception of what good looked like. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody has something they have to offer. Some are better at conversations, and some of them are better. Some of them are more physically attractive. I mean, I would be a liar if I told you that everybody is the same amount of beautiful. No, that's stupid. Matter of fact, the ones that are more physically attractive they have shitty personalities and they don't know how to talk to people, which is weird because my wife / soon-to-be ex-wife, she is both physically attractive and easy to talk to. Really hard to top that, but eventually I will find something out there. I mean, there's 160 million women in the world? Fish in the sea, man, fish in the sea. Anyway, so I saw how some of these men were trying to talk to these women, and like, it's stuff. Like, I saw one man walk up to a woman, and he looked nervous. You know what I mean? He walked up to her and said something along the lines of, "How are you doing today, beautiful?" And she immediately just said, "Yeah, not interested," and walked away. So we're going to talk about what this guy did wrong. First off, if you're doing and saying things that are nice with the expectation of something in return, you're a dirtbag. And I think that's where he started off wrong. Secondly, he started off by, I guess, complimenting her versus showcasing himself, which is a super passive aggressive. Like, he's gonna end up in the friend. If she would have said, "Oh, you're so nice," he would have ended up in the friend zone eventually. It would have happened. So I drank another beer, and I guess she came back to the bar, but she was trying to figure out how to order food because there was no food menu. So, I mean, I was done with my food menu, and you could tell what she was doing. She was just looking around. She looked kind of irritated and pissed off. So I was like, all right, cool. So I grabbed the food menu, I walked it across the bar, and I said, "Hey, I think you were looking for one of these." And I handed it to her, and I walked away. She came running, like, literally, like, I sat down at my chair, and she's like full out sprinting to my half of the bar saying, "I just want to tell you thank you." I was like, well, yeah, I mean, you told me thank you back there, but I appreciate you thanking me twice with that face. And then I just sat there. She sat next to me, and it was pretty cool because she's a very entertaining person. Now, why was this single woman at a barcade? So then, out of nowhere, two very tall, very unhappy sons walked up and was like, "Hey mom, who's this asshole?" I was like, "Guys, relax, I'm not a threat, I'm just here drinking a beer. Your mom wanted some company while you guys played games." And they were like, "Oh, alright." And then they left. Now, full disclosure, she did give me her phone number, and I told her, I'm really sorry That's not what this is. You came to me for company. I enjoyed your company. I am not ready to take anybody's phone number right now. And I explained everything to her, talked about the channel. Thank you for subscribing, lady. I don't remember your name, and if I did, I'd have given you a nickname. Matter of fact, your nickname is MILF. So thank you for subscribing, MILF. I look forward to making videos for you and your sons. So I told her that I'm not gonna, do that. I mean, shoot, I've only been separated from my wife at the time, like, I don't know, 28 days. No, I'm not. That's not what this is. So if you're watching this, MILF, understand that the right now the term MILF is a term of endearment. While I believe that you are someone that people would like to, whatever the F in MILF stands for, I need you to know that just means that you are a physically and sexually attractive woman, and I myself, maybe sometime in the future, I will tell you in a video, but don't expect that to happen next easily 6 months to a year. So if you feel like the juice is worth the squeeze, keep watching these videos.